Hello, hello. Welcome to the Feelings Pod. My name is Sabrina Amina. I'm your host. I'm an educator and holistic health coach. And this podcast is for exploring emotions as they come up and sharing a bit about mindfulness. Thanks for listening. Today's topic is on depression. And I've mentioned this in previous episodes, but it bears repeating that as we move through the seasons, I will be exploring emotions that feel like they are more prominent during different seasons. Of course, all of these emotions can occur any time of year during any season. But I use a lot of my own personal experience to speak about different emotions. And winter is certainly a season where a lot more of the heavier emotions can be challenging, with less sunlight and cold weather, being more indoors and perhaps isolated from other humans. It can be helpful to know that we're not alone in the experiences of these difficult emotions. The reason I want to talk about depression is because it just seems so pervasive these days. I have certainly had my own struggle with depression and navigated different ways of feeling better when I've been depressed or when I've felt depressed. I will also mention that I like to make a distinction between saying I am depressed and I am feeling depressed, or I am sad and I am feeling sad. I think it's a really important distinction because when you say I am sad, it's more like you're identifying with sadness and maybe calling yourself a sad person. I find it really helpful to not overly identify with any one experience of emotion. It's really helpful to say that that I'm experiencing a certain emotion. It helps me remember that emotions are not fixed. They are not my identity. Just because I'm feeling sadness doesn't mean I have this identity as a sad person. And that was something that is something I struggle with from time to time. I am a big advocate for therapy in its many forms. And for quite a long time with my therapist, I would go into sessions and feel so frustrated with myself and say things like, oh, I'm so tired of being the sad girl. I went through this time where I really over-identified with my feelings of sadness, and having that frustration didn't allow me to really make kind and gentle space for my sadness. I was resisting it, and sometimes I still do. This is always an ongoing process. But hopefully, I like to think that I've gotten better over the years, with being with sadness, depression, difficult emotions, um, without making others responsible for it, without blaming others or myself for it. Emotions are like a natural phenomena that occurs in this human experience, and um, some 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 of the work that I've done in learning about self-compassion in my mindfulness practice, and also studying the work of Kristen Neff, who's done prolific research on self-compassion and mindful self-compassion. That work and her books have really helped me tremendously with being with difficult emotions and moving away from overly identifying with them. One of the important steps in a mindful self-compassion practice is acknowledging and recognizing that you're not alone in this experience. Um, it's I find it comforting, and when we're in a difficult space, emotionally, we tend to feel more isolated. We tend to feel like we're all alone in our suffering. And, I don't know about you, but I definitely find comfort in the idea that, especially when I am able to consciously remind myself that, it's okay. Everyone goes through this sometimes. Um, yeah. So certainly my mindfulness practice has helped. My uh, study and just like learning about self-compassion has been really helpful. If you're interested in learning more about mindful self-compassion, check out Kristen Neff's books. She has the first book I read of hers is called Self-Compassion, and the second one, her more recent publication, is called Fierce Self-Compassion, which is really fascinating. It explores like the gentle side of self-compassion, but also the fierce side of it, which is like the protective, like part of ourselves that is really necessary, in sometimes in moments of struggle. Yeah, and of course, I don't know that we can talk about depression without kind of talking about the way that depression is treated, and exploring exploring how oftentimes we lean on either self-medicating or prescription medications to feel better. Now, in the past, I've had like not such fantastic experiences with medications. I tried it. I tried several in the span of a very short time, about 4 months. This was during COVID, or actually just before COVID. I was going through a very difficult situation in my work and in my personal life, and I needed some help. So my therapist referred me to a psychiatrist who prescribed a cocktail of, I think at one point, 4 different antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications, And it was just so, it was confusing because I would take something that would cause a symptom, and then I would be told to take an additional something to counteract the initial drug that I was taking. And then eventually I got frustrated, and I during that time I gained about 30 pounds, and all I wanted to do was just sleep. It certainly was not helpful. But I do recognize that medications can be really powerful and of course life-saving for some folks. I've recently decided to give medication a try again, and yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I was very reluctant to do that because of because I had such a poor experience previously. But after talking to like some folks I trust and medical professionals, and I decided, yeah, it can be helpful to have some help in difficult moments. So, and that help can look different for different people. And I think it's really important for us not to close ourselves off to exploring different solutions. There was certainly a fear for me that came from a previous experience, but yeah, I think as we navigate and as we go through life and different phases of life and different episodes of our experiences, it helps to have an open mind and to approach each time of our life with like curiosity. So I'll just leave you with this. If you've ever struggled with sadness, depression, know you're not alone. Know that there is help available to you. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but there are certainly ways to alleviate suffering. So let's get into a short practice today. Find a comfortable seat. You can also lie down and just allow the eyes to close. Start noticing the breath. And as you notice your breath, allow it to become a little bit deeper. Notice your inhale. Allow it to fill the belly and the lungs. And when you're ready, release the breath. Find a rhythm of breathing that feels most comfortable for you. And as you continue to follow the breath, we'll settle into a body scan, starting at the very top of the head, and just noticing, bringing your attention and awareness to the forehead. And just imagine standing under a waterfall, letting the water cascade over you. And as the water flows, imagine it carries away anything that you don't no longer wish to carry. And just allow the muscles in the face to relax. Let go of any expression on the face. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Notice the neck and the throat. Bring your attention to the shoulders, the heart space. You can gently place the hands over the heart and breathe. Notice your heartbeat. And take a deep breath in and let it go. Bring a gentle awareness to the belly and allow the hands to rest there as you breathe in and out. And bring your attention to the hips, your sit bones. Notice the spaces where your body makes contact with the support beneath you, whether it's the floor or a cushion or your bed. Notice the weight of gravity holding you in place. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Bring your attention to your thighs. And bring a gentle awareness towards the knees. Your calves, your shins. Notice the ankles. Notice the tops of your feet, the bottoms of your feet, and wiggle the toes. For our next breath, imagine drawing the inhale from the bottoms of your feet and bringing the breath all the way up to the top of the crown of your head. Take a deep breath in. And release the breath. And if your eyes are closed, feel free to keep them closed. Just rest here. Or if you feel ready, gently let the eyes flutter open. And look at the space you're in with new eyes, new perspective. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Have a beautiful day.